All right, so in the last 24 hours, the Health and Wellness Ministry is reporting 3 samples have been tested positive for COVID-19. This brings the total number of cases in Jamaica to 58. The new cases, I'm not even going to say who the new cases are. The information is there if you need to get it. 53% of confirmed cases are male, 47% are female. Just a slight margin of difference. Average age of confirmed cases is 50.4 years old, with the ages ranging from 12 to 87 years old. So everybody who's walking around and talking about, oh, it's not gonna be a problem for me because, you know, it's affecting the elderly. A 12-year-old is by no means elderly. So 12 to 87 years old. If you fall within that range, what does that tell you? All right. So stay home.
The ministry is saying there's an 8th patient who has recovered and been released from hospital. 5 patients are awaiting a second test before being released from isolation. So climbing, 58. I know the PM is now saying that harsher measures will be put in for the folks who traveled based on the time period that he gave and will not come forward to test themselves. Some 5,000 people. 5,000. Can you just think of the implications of that, Harry?
5,000 people. You put 10 per each person.
Okay.
Minimum, and the 10 is like if you stay in your yard. So 10 times 5,000 is what?
Enough.
Okay. So let's think about that and then think about the size of our population. We can't afford it.
And if we have people who came in and realized they came in and quarantined or self-isolated for a period and you realize you're asymptomatic, even though they found that you can still pass on the disease whether you're symptomatic or no. But please just go to the hospital, go to the health center, go to wherever the Prime Minister has said you are to go to so that you can get yourself checked out. So you know you're not infecting other people and we don't end up with a situation where we have a major crisis. It's bad enough as it is.
I think some people are, so there are a number of reasons I'm hearing from people why they haven't checked in. Some are thinking, but I'm okay, why do I need to check in? We just need to check in to say that you're okay. And then there are some that are saying they've been trying the numbers at the ministry and they're not getting through. So I don't know if the best way forward is to find numbers that are dead, because 5,000 people is a lot of people.
So and the lines are already overwhelmed with.
Lines are already overwhelmed, Sim. So I don't know if the best thing is to just for 2 days have 2 dedicated lines just for the people that are. They can email as well. So why people saying that them call and can't get through one?
I know on Friday the Prime Minister gave some new measures and there was an email address. Okay, so we have somebody in here who went through it, right? Came in, self-isolated, called the numbers, emailed as well, and you got through, sir. All right, good to go. What is the email address? Give it to us there, Sir Marv, so we can give it out. While we look for that, there's some Jamaicans who are talking about their plight, saying they feel like they're in solitary confinement. They're working on separate cruise ships, Harmony of the Seas and Celebrity Cruises. And they're on the high seas somewhere between Cape Canaveral, Florida, and a private island in the Bahamas. Neither of them are able to come home because of the closure of the island's ports to incoming passengers and the blow dealt by COVID-19 to the cruise industry. One of the Jamaicans says that there are approximately 100 Jamaican workers on his vessel, while the other says about 35 of her countrymen are aboard. They're anxious to come home. They say anxious to set their feet on the rock because they feel like they're in solitary confinement. So, boy, this is tough. It's a tough one. You're out there and you know what's happening with the cruise ships and cases on the cruise ships. So we pray for those Jamaicans who are aboard those ships looking to get home. As we speak of cruise ships, What is Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett saying, Harris?
I don't know if I'm back.
Yes.
Oh, I'm back.
Well, he's saying that he's saying while the coronavirus pandemic has brought tourism to a grinding halt, the industry remains optimistic, and he has a timeline that he's putting out for things to start going again.
Well, he says the evidence shows that travelers are still excited about the post-COVID-19 period. And so what he sees is that their appetite for traveling has not died. I guess when all of this is done, people who have been locked up for so long are going to decide that, oh my gosh, I just want to get away from the house. And then those who have said, you see, I always wanted to go to Jamaica and look at this. If it was worse, I couldn't go. So you're going to have all of that happening and people coming. So I'm optimistic with him as to the timeline.
May and June?
That timeline look a little very optimistic, Sir Minister, but I will work with it. Anything to say COVID done, I will work with it. So let's see. I think the challenge is not so much going to be us, but the countries where the visitors are coming from. We have a lot of Italian and German visitors that come to Jamaica, but hey, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. What did Basie do?
Basie has
A spatial innovation project.
And this is Roshan Basie Clark, former member of dancehall group TOK. He is the Chief Executive Officer of a geographical information system provider called Spatial Innovision. Not innovation, but Innovision. And they've been freely offering services to governmental agencies across the region for the past 2 weeks. What they've done is tailored a support offering for basically the world, he says. If you look at how people have been tracking COVID-19 right now, a lot of it is through Johns Hopkins University's dashboard. That's true. That's the most reliable checked source. The map that they show on the dashboard is powered by our partners, Esri. Esri is apparently a company that's at the forefront of geographical information systems, which are designed to capture, store, manipulate, analyze, manage, and present all types of spatial or geographical data. So he's been working to produce the maps and the charts and the graphs that would assist the experts in understanding the effects of the pandemic on businesses and analysis on work from home management.
All right.
So that's cool. Well done.
Boris or Ding Dong? Where do we go, Clive? Well, Ding Dong is urging Jamaicans to stay inside. I like it. You know, when we asked him, everybody's saying, Ding Dong, have you done a Corona song? And Ding Dong said, let me tell you something. This virus now get no props from me. I'm not going to do a song that's going to immortalize this virus where years from now people are singing and dancing to it. When it's over, let's see the back of it. What is good though is that he said people must stay inside.
Can I hear?
Yeah.
I want to ask a question. Is there really a Corona dance? I like it. I like it.
That's
I like it.
the Ravers boss.
I like it.
Inside.
But you're always talking about how messages resonate more if we make them entertainment based, especially with a certain demographic.
Yes.
There are some people now who will listen to that and say, oh, Ding Dong said, all right.
That's it, man. I tell you what, and then we go inside and in them house are dancing to them. So when you're there, inside.
Of course.
Entertainment every time.
Love that.
Every time.
All right.
In the UK, wow.
I don't have my phone. You have your phone?
In the UK,
you can pull up the story.
It's in the Sunday statement, Downing Street said that Prime Minister Boris Johnson continues to have persistent symptoms of coronavirus 10 days after testing positive. From what I've read, he was hospitalized. Yeah.
They're hospitalizing him yesterday.
Yeah.
They're saying it's a precautionary measure because of the persistent symptoms. So they've, on the advice of his doctor, they took him in. The statement said the Prime Minister thanks the National Health Service staff for all of their incredible hard work and urges the public to continue to follow the government's advice to stay at home, protect the NHS and save lives. Apparently, he'd been running the government remotely during his isolation, and he remains in charge despite his hospitalization. And folks, this is a story about what happens when you don't take the virus seriously, because weeks ago, same UK PM was busy talking about how, you know, he's heard all the disclaimers and he's heard this, but he's going to be shaking hands and he's going to be doing what he's doing because that's what he does. And this is what happens if you don't pay attention. At whatever level you are, it doesn't spare anyone. It doesn't spare borders. It doesn't spare counties. It doesn't spare countries. 180 odd countries in the world now with cases of coronavirus. Look at New York. Look at New Jersey. What's happening in the U.S. is crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. So Piers Morgan saying, you know, the Queen is addressing the nation. The Prime Minister is hospitalized. COVID is no joke.
No joke.
Thanks, Maris Horton has sent me information, and this is out of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Education, ODPM, GIS. It says for those persons who came into the island between the 18th and the 23rd, you can visit Jam COVID-19. That's JAM COVID-19, one word, .moh.gov.jm. Maybe a little bit later on we can ask
say it again, Dale.
Jam COVID-19 .moh.gov.jm, and that's the website. So you can visit the website, click submit case report. There's a questionnaire, you can fill it out, provide the necessary information. So really there's no excuse to say you're calling and you're not getting through, because there's a website that you can go to and submit the case report.
And maybe they're scared, which is understandable, but
5,000.
And then have the people them going to your place of residence, which is not really a place of residence.
And then I'm going to force people to report it. Last night I was saying, please don't make nobody have to report you. The JCF now has a number that it says if you feel you know someone who was, you know, who returned between March 18 and 23, call that number. Please don't force people to call and report.
But if you have to report them. Report them, because the PM is saying he's going to start finding people up to $1 million. So I would, you know,
maybe somebody
I understand you're scared, but one person they say,
I don't think 5,000 of them scared.